one day, here's what I knew about her. I knew that my mother-in-law bought and rented houses. Wherever they lived, they'd move from base to base, as he was in the Air Force. And every 2 or 3 years, they'd move. She'd sell off the houses that she'd bought in that place, and she'd start in again. And her hobby wasn't buying houses. Her hobby was shopping for houses. How many of you women, your hobby is shopping? My wife, my current wife, her hobby is shopping. And the first time I saw her shop, I said, I can't afford this woman. She came home with like $2,000 worth of purchases. And she was buying 70% off and another 40% off to that. You can imagine how much stuff she had. But then she took almost everything back. She wasn't in the habit of buying anything. She just shopped. Well, my mother-in-law shopped for houses. That's what she did. And she was really good at it. The only time I saw her do it, I'm going to tell you about, because it illustrates 2 or 3 things that you have to do if you want to be successful in investing in commercial real estate. One day, she said to me, I guess I asked her a question about her houses or something, and she says, you want to come with me tomorrow? I'm going to go out tomorrow. We all knew in the family that you didn't make any plans for Saturday. Saturday night was okay, but not Saturday. So she would leave the house every Saturday morning about 8 o'clock, and she wouldn't come back until 2 or 3 in the afternoon because she was pursuing her hobby. And I'm talking 50 weeks, maybe 48 weeks a year. She went out on Saturday and did this. And what she did was, when we went out, here's what happened. She picked me up 8 o'clock, 8:05, 8:10 in the morning. And we immediately went to an area, and I understood later that she had 2 or 3 subdivisions that she regularly worked. And she knew those 2 or 3 subdivisions better than any realtor did. I mean, knew everything that happened in those subdivisions, knew what the prices were. If the builder had built 5 different models, she knew which models were which. She knew about what each one of them was sold for originally, what they were worth now, and all the rest. And she took me to a neighborhood that she was working that day, and we walked up to her. We parked in front of a for sale by owner, and we went in the house, and there was a woman sitting on the couch. A high percentage of these for sale by owners were represented by wives sitting on the couch. We walked in, and I guess we looked in the kitchen, and my mother-in-law came out and asked the woman, how much do you want for it? Now, what she wanted to hear was that the woman was asked, first of all, understood what the market value was, and second, was realistic about it. So she said, how much you want for it? The woman would say, in those days, the days I'm talking about, probably $50,000 was the neighborhood we were looking in. And she said, 57,000 or 59,000 or something like that, which is maybe 8 or 10 or 15% above what the market was. And my mother-in-law did not reply, didn't go into the next room. She turned and walked out. She didn't say too much. She didn't say a thing. She just walked out of the door. In fact, for a second, I didn't know she was leaving. And I had to catch up. And we got in the car, and we went to the next house. And it was the same deal. How much you want for it? $61,000. Turned around, walked out. This time I was a little, quicker on the uptake. The 3rd or 4th house we went to, whoever was sitting on the house said 51 or 52 or something very close to what my mother-in-law thought it was worth. So we stayed for a minute. And she looked in the kitchen. She looked under a cabinet, which I found out later meant nothing. She wasn't looking at anything. She was there to ask 3 questions. If you answered the first question correctly, she would ask you the second question. If you answered the second question correctly, she would ask you the third.